Raising chickens information. Maintaining a healthy flock. For happy, healthy chickens, keep the following tips in mind. Water. Constant access to fresh, clean water is step one in nurturing a healthy flock. It is critical for egg production. Don't allow water troughs to become stagnant or filled with chicken waste or dirt. Our hen hydrator is an easy way to offer a full supply of clean water. Dampness. Dampness breeds illness. Keep the coop clean and dry. Moisture in the coop can cause dangerous bacteria to build up, and in the winter it can bring on disease and death quickly. Clean. A clean coop is a happy coop. Dirty coops are more likely to harbor mites and rodents. Sanitize. Clean and sanitize. If you visit a neighboring farm with poultry, be sure to wash your hands, any tools, and sanitize your boots, and to avoid tracking illness back to your flock. Avoid sharing tools if possible. Fresh air. Allow adequate ventilation in the coop. Ventilation is key to allow ammonia gases from chicken waste to escape and bring in fresh air. Be mindful that this ventilation doesn't cause a draft. Treats that are toxic. Raw green potato peels, citrus fruits, avocado skin and pit, chocolate, and dried or undercooked beans. So avoid potato peels, the raw green ones, the citrus fruits, the avocado skins and pits. Avoid giving them chocolate. Avoid giving them dried or undercooked beans. Number 9, boredom busting activities. Playtime is important for chickens. Here are a few fun ideas to try with your birds. Water bottle fun. Drill a 1/2-inch holes into empty plastic bottles and fill with chicken scratch for hours of pecking fun. Take the tunnel. Make a tunnel out of an old oatmeal can. Chicken tetherball. Hang a head of cabbage, lettuce, or another veggie on a piece of rope. Make sure the rope cannot be broken and ingested for a fun activity. Pumpkin time. Give your birds a whole pumpkin. They'll love it. Mirror. Attach a mirror that cannot be dislodged or broken for the girls to admire their reflections. Dust bath time. Add a layer of dirt and sand to a deep pan or kiddie pool for a fun dust bath. Up the ladder. Introduce steps, a ladder, or even an old stump for a new perch. Ten. For everything you need to care for your flock, Little Giant is there. From incubation to feeders and waterers, we have you covered. And with many of our products made right here in the USA, you can feel good about your investment. End of that book. Page 8. Aging of meat. allowing time for the muscles, meat of a freshly killed chicken to relax and become tender. Aged chicken meat tastes better and is more tender than that of a chicken cooked or frozen a few hours after being killed. The muscle protein of a freshly killed chicken rapidly stiffens as rigor mortis sets in. So unless the chicken is rushed to the cook pot, the meat will be tough if it is not aged before being cooked. The older the chicken, the longer its meat needs to age. To age a freshly killed chicken, cool the meat and wrap it loosely. Set it in the refrigerator for at least 1 day, up to 3 days if it will be frozen or canned, or up to 5 days if it will be cooked fresh. Agricultural extension. See cooperative extension system. Air cell. The airspace that develops at the large, round end of an egg between the inner and outer membranes just inside the shell. A freshly laid egg has no air cell. As the egg cools and its contents shrink, the inner shell membrane pulls away from the outer shell membrane, forming a pocket. The cell of a freshly laid cool egg is about 1/8 inch, 0.3 centimeters deep. As the egg ages, moisture evaporates from it. Its contents continue to shrink, and the size of the air cell increases. Just how fast the cell grows depends on the porosity of the shell and on the temperature and humidity under which the egg is stored. During incubation, the air cell increases rapidly, and its size at various stages of incubation may be used to determine whether or not the humidity within the incubator is optimal. If the air cell is an incubated egg is proportionately larger than its typical cell after 7, 14, and 18 days of incubation, humidity is too low. If the cell is smaller, humidity is too high. Determining the age. Exact age is not possible to determine, but a young bird may be distinguished easily from an old one based on the features listed below. The feature, body shape. If it is gangly, it's a young chicken. If it's round, it's an old chicken. Legs. If it has smooth scales, it's a young chicken. If it has rough scales, it's an old chicken. Spurs. If it has small nubs, it's a young chicken. If it has long spurs, it's an old chicken. Breastbone. If it's flexible, it's a young chicken. If it's rigid, it's an old chicken. Muscles. If they're soft, it's a young chicken. If it's firm, it's an old chicken. Skin. If it's thin and translucent, it's a young chicken. If it's thick and tough, it's an old chicken. All cocks and some hens have spurs. The longer the spur, the older the bird. Here's another cool thing right here. Air cell. It shows 18, 14, and 7 on the upper left part of an egg. Relative size of air cell on the 7th, 14th, and 18th days of incubation. Air cell gauge. Gauge used for determining the depth of the air cell. One of the factors in grading an egg for quality, AA, A, and B. The USDA official air cell gauge is designed to help the beginner learn to judge accurately the size of an air cell at a quick glance while candling. Experienced candlers occasionally use the gauge to verify the accuracy of their determinations. With the egg held large and upward, the gauge measures the depth of an air cell at the point of greatest distance between the top of the cell and an imaginary plane passing through the egg at the lower edge of the air cell where it touches the shell. See also candle. Here's the example. It shows the air cell gauge, and then to the right it shows a light, and obviously the hand holding the egg. Egg quality and air cell depth. Quality, AA. Depth, 1/8 inch, 0.3 centimeters. Quality for an A, the depth will be 3/16 of an inch or 0.5 centimeters. And a B quality is 3/8 an inch or larger, 1 centimeter. Air sacs. Thin-walled pockets that, as part of the chicken's respiratory system, circulate air from the lungs throughout other parts of the chicken's body. The system of air sacs extends around the internal organs and into some bones, called pneumatic bones, that are hollow. Unlike the chicken's lungs, which are rigid, its air sacs are flexible. Of the 9 air sacs, 8 are paired, with one set attached to each lung. The single largest air sac is shared by both lungs. Alarm call. A sound a chicken uses to alert other chickens to potential danger. Different sounds are used to distinguish between a possible threat and an immediate danger, and between a predator in the air and one on the ground. Caution call. A few quick notes briefly repeated, made by a chicken that sees or thinks it sees a predator in the distance. It is not particularly loud or insistent and doesn't last long unless the predator becomes a threat. An alarm cackle. A more insistent caution call announcing the approach of an apparent predator on the ground or perhaps perched in a nearby tree or on a fence post. It consists of a brief series of short, sharp sounds followed by one loud, high-pitched sound. Other chickens may join the cackling while stretching their necks to get a better look, and moving around in an agitated way, as though not quite sure whether or where to run. These sounds increase in intensity the longer the assumed predator is in sight and may continue after the creature has gone. Air raid. A loud warning cry made by a cock or occasionally a hen that spots the approach of a raptor. While making this sound, the chicken looks up with one eye while flattening its head and tail in a crouch to make itself less conspicuous. Without looking up, the other chickens run for cover. See also warning call. Here's a picture of the air sacs. It shows the beak at the top, shows the throat going down. It shows what looks like the regular lungs, but with a bunch of air sacs attached to it. Albumin. Also look at egg white. Alectorophobia. Fear of chickens. From the Greek words alector, meaning cock, and phobos, meaning fear. Usually triggered by some unpleasant incident involving a chicken. People with alectorophobia have an irrational fear of chickens and their parts, including a feather or an egg. They break out in a sweat or experience panic at the sight or nearness of a chicken, fearing it might peck or attack them. In an extreme case, just seeing a chicken in a photograph or movie can cause panic. I don't know how to pronounce that one. Allele or allele. A variation of a gene from the Greek word allelos. Oh, okay, it must be allele, meaning each other, short for allelomorph, literally meaning other form. The combined effect of paired, unlike alleles, can be either dominant or recessive. All in, all out. The management procedure of keeping laying hens or breeders from the most productive part of their lives, then disposing of the entire flock, thoroughly cleaning and sanitizing the facility, and bringing in a young replacement flock. The purpose of this method is to avoid introducing diseases that may occur when new chickens are brought into an existing flock or into unclean, reused housing. All other colors, AOC, a show designation for a catch-all class that includes all colors of a breed or variety without a specific class of their own, also called any other color. All other comb clean leg, AOCCL, one of the groupings into which the American Poultry Association organizes Bantam breeds. It includes breeds that are not game breeds, have neither a single comb nor a rose comb, and are not feather-legged. This class includes Americana, Araucana, Buckeye, Chanticleer, Cornish, Crevecoeur, I don't know how to pronounce that one, Cubalea, Houdan, Lafeche, Malay, Polish, Chamau, Sicilian Buttercup, Sumatra, and Yokohama. The American Bantam Association does not recognize Crevecoeur, but additionally includes it in this class, Hamburg and Orloff. All other standard breeds, AOSB, one of 6 groupings into which the American Poultry Association organizes large chicken breeds. The breeds in this class are further subdivided into 3 groups: game, modern and Old English, miscellaneous, and oriental. The miscellaneous breeds are Araucana, Frizzle, Naked Neck, and Sultan. The oriental breeds are Asil, Cubalea, Malay, Phoenix, Chamau, Sumatra, and Yokohama. All other varieties, AOV, a show designation for a catch-all class that includes all varieties of a breed without a specific class of their own, also called any other variety. Alula, plural, alulae, a small, sharp point in the middle of a chicken's wing, corresponding to the human thumb, covered with a few short, stiff feathers. Alula is the diminutive form of the Latin word ala, which means wing, also called bastard wing, false wing, spurious wing, thumb. Americana, one of 2 breeds that lay blue shell eggs, developed from chickens imported from Chile. The name Americana was derived by combining the words American and Araucana, the other breed that lays blue shell eggs. Unlike the rumpless Araucana, the Americana has a tail. Although in Britain and Australia, rumpless and tailed are recognized as varieties of Araucana, not as separate breeds. It also sports a pea-comb as well as a beard and muffs. It comes in several color varieties. It may be either large or bantam, and the hens tend toward broadness. American Bantam Association, ABA, a national organization established in 1914 to represent bantam breeders and promote all kinds of bantams. Its objectives are to encourage the breeding, exhibiting, and selling of purebred Bantams. To foster cooperation among breeders. To sponsor national, semi-annual, state, and special meets for the benefit of a greater Bantam fancy. To assemble and distribute information on the breeding, husbandry, and economic value of Bantams. American class. One of 6 groupings into which the American Poultry Association organizes large chicken breeds. The 13 breeds in this class originated primarily in the United States and Canada and lay brown shell eggs. They are Buckeye, Chanticleer, Delaware, Dominique, Holland, Hava, Jersey Giant, Lamona, New Hampshire, Plymouth Rock, Rhode Island Red, Rhode Island White, and Wyandotte. Here is a picture of a lula. You can see how it can kind of resemble a thumb. And there is a picture of the Americana hen.